Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the show, the Eon Network podcast. This episode is going to be a bit somber, a bit sad. I'm sure all of you have heard the news earlier this week that the legendary, the iconic former WWE superstar Hulk Hogan passed away at the age of 71. And it really was a very shocking moment, a cultural shock because of how big and iconic Hulk Hogan was. In fact, he really was a one-man conglomerate of how big of a name he really was. And tonight, we really do want to honor Hulk Hogan. He was a very controversial figure, and I know a lot of people out there disagreed, including myself. I disagreed with his views on certain topics, but nonetheless, when it came to the culture, when it came to the pop icon that he was, there was no doubt that Hulk Hogan was one of the greatest and definitely will forever live on as one of the greatest of all time in the professional wrestling world. Joining me right now is my broadcast colleague, Tea Time. And we are going to go ahead and get the perspective of a fan, an avid wrestling fan who really heard the news as well, just like everybody else here, T. Take me through it, though. What was going through your mind the moment that you heard that Hulk Hogan passed at the age of 71?
I got a call from my cousin. My cousin woke me up. He said, "Did you see the news?" Like, what news? Like, check your phone. I sent you the news. What? I was sleeping. It was the news that Hulk Hogan passed away. I was very shocked. I didn't know what to think. I was like, this. It was like I was in a mind like the same way when I found out Eddie Guerrero and Bray Wyatt passed away. I was in shock because like it's Hulk Hogan. Like he looked healthy. He didn't look sick at all. So I did not know what caused his death. Because he did not look sick at all. And I was very hurt by this. I was very hurt by his passing.
Much like everybody else, when you hear Hulk Hogan, the first thing that comes to mind is that iconic, what you gonna do, brother, and go ahead and eat your vitamins and say your prayers. When you think of Hulk Hogan, you think of everything that he's accomplished through the years, and everybody has their own opinions on Hulk Hogan. What did Hulk Hogan mean to you as a professional wrestling fan? What did he mean to you?
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. No, I'm sorry. Um, um, you know what Hulk Hogan meant to me? He was an actual hero. As a wrestling fan, he was everybody icon, everybody hero. Everybody looked up to the guy back then, and even when he was a heel, uh, people was booing him, but they were also engaging with Hulk Hogan. During the NWO. Now, I was not a WCW fan. I watched NWO, but I did watch clips and stuff. I was more of a ECW and WWF type of guy. But I knew of Hulk Hogan. And you don't have to be a wrestling fan to know Hulk Hogan these days, Adrian, because
Right.
Hulk Hogan was in movies as well. He was in No Holds Barred. He was in Rocky 3. So Hulk Hogan is that guy that is like the um he's like he was everybody's hero. He was my hero back then. Before The Rock, Hulk Hogan was, well, no, I take that back. The Rock was my hero first, and then Hulk Hogan. But Hulk Hogan was indeed a hero to me.
It's funny that you mentioned The Rock because that's exactly what I was going to mention or who I was going to mention. In fact, I want to take you back to WrestleMania 18. You were there watching live in front of the world when it was a pivotal moment in the professional wrestling industry whenever it was Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, and it really was a match where you saw Hulk Hogan pass the torch to The Rock that evening. But Hulk Hogan and The Rock in that particular match, really did a huge impact in the professional wrestling scene because we saw two pop icons going at it. And Despite the Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant matchup at WrestleMania 3, many consider that as the greatest WrestleMania match in the history of WrestleMania. A lot of people also point the fingers at the Hulk Hogan and Rock match as one of the greatest WrestleMania matches in history because of the history behind it. Not only that, but also the stories between two gentlemen, two men who came into WWE, became pop icons, and now they're face to face. When you watch that match and you looked at someone like Hulk Hogan, who of course was looking down at The Rock again was the newcomer. Was in WWE for a few years, but obviously, compared to the Hulk Hogan's, he was still green in WWE. When you saw that match and you saw Hulk Hogan pass down the torch to The Rock, what do you think that really did mean to Hulk Hogan?
Um, first of all, I think that lifted a weight off Hulk Hogan's shoulder because he been carrying that torch for a long time, and as for someone young like The Rock, that's um he saw something in The Rock, and um he knew right away that he made the right decision, the right choice to wrestle The Rock and pass it on to The Rock. And I know The Rock was happy, Hulk Hogan was happy. Um, it was an incredible match to watch, Adrian. Um, you have one side chanting Hogan, the other side chanting Rock. Two biggest icons in wrestling.
It was dubbed as icon versus icon. I mean, think about it, and you said it best. In fact, both of those men were being cheered. Nearly 70,000 of the WWE fans at the Sky Dome in Toronto, Canada. I mean, it really was a very, very interesting time in wrestling because of how just interesting this entire thing was. And despite the fact that Hulk Hogan was playing the bad guy in this role, he was still getting heavily cheered. I mean, through the rafters, seriously, everybody was cheering for Hulk Hogan and everybody was cheering for The Rock. Again, hence the reason why it was tagged as the icon versus icon. But that match was very much incredible. And now going back though, we're winding all the way back to WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Now that to
Yes.
me is the most iconic wrestling match ever in the history of wrestling. It doesn't matter if you're talking about WWE, WCW, ECW, or even the new, promotions like AEW. It doesn't really matter to me because nothing's ever going to top the iconic body slam. Hulk Hogan, this larger than life superstar who saw this big, big roadblock in front of him. Andre the Giant, who was nearly 8 foot tall, and many people were doubting Hulk Hogan, believing that Andre the Giant was not going to be picked up by Hulk Hogan. That finally Hulk Hogan, the man that was telling everybody to eat your vitamins and say your prayers, finally met his match, and everybody truly believed that Andre the Giant was going to win. Hulk Hogan picked him up, scoop slammed him in the middle of the ring, marking one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic, wrestling scene in the history of professional wrestling. To you, what did that mean to you? Seeing as a Hulk Hogan fan, when you saw Hulk Hogan, your hero, pick up Andre the Giant, in a way, it hit home, didn't it? Because it's almost as if Hulk Hogan sent a message to the world stating that no matter how big, no matter how bad a person is, no matter what it is, you can overcome every single obstacle. And Hulk Hogan was able to do that, and you saw it as well. What did that mean to you?
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth when you said Hulk Hogan made a statement by saying, like you said, it doesn't matter if you're small, it doesn't matter the size that you are. He did what he did and just body slammed Andre the Giant, and that was like the most incredible thing to watch, insane thing to watch. you know, and that paved a way for all these talents that are small to do the same thing. That inspired Rey Mysterio. That inspired Eddie Guerrero. You know, that inspired all these young talents. Dominic Mysterio. Hulk Hogan paved the way for these um, talents that are small but still strong. These talents that I listed, that I named. they were all Hulk Hogan fans. They listened. No matter how small you are, you can still get a win over someone that's big and strong, just like Andre.
Exactly. And you mentioned, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, other people like Dean Malenko, other people, of
Yeah.
course, Chavo Guerrero and so forth. I mean, these were professional wrestling fans, but Hulk Hogan was such an icon that he didn't also inspire the professional wrestling fans, but he just basically inspired your everyday living citizen. I mean, he really did inspire and motivate so many people out there to never give up, to never step
Yeah.
down, to always rise up and go against those who are much bigger than you, and to never ever fail and even fall. Or even if you do fail, to get back up to your feet. I mean, Andre the Giant in that matchup and really throughout the story, he really was beating up Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan was trying to find a way to get back up, and he did. He finally did, and he was able to pick up the big man and throw him in the middle of the ring. But
I will
the
say
thing
that.
is,
I
yes,
will say that he inspired me because of me being bullied and stuff, always being picked on and
exactly.
always being down. So Hulk Hogan was a huge influence um on me to um never give up, never back down, always fight back, and that's what I do. I always fight back my bullies, and I thank Hulk Hogan and others that inspire me to fight back as well.
So Hulk Hogan had a lot of good qualities about the man. He really was an inspiration. He was a pop icon. He really was a pop icon, and he really did uh, a lot of great work,
Guitar playing.
and so much so.
He
Absolutely,
was
that
in
too.
band. Did you know that?
Yes, I actually saw the video of Hulk
I,
Hogan apparently playing the guitar even at a young early age. Yep.
I did not know that. I was like, I mean, I knew that. Remember when the Vince McMahon had that song "Stand Back" and that's the fact. Yeah, I remember that song. I remember him and all the other wrestlers playing the uh instruments, but I never knew that he was in a band. What? That was
Yep.
crazy.
Pretty shocking, right? um, but we are talking about the good qualities of Hulk Hogan. Now we must take a turn and talk about the bad qualities of Hulk Hogan. Now, you were aware of what happened.
Yeah.
There was leaked audio from 2007 where Hulk Hogan repeated the N word and
Yeah.
expressed discomfort with the fact that his own daughter was dating a black man.
Right.
He was saying, quote, that we're all a little racist, even admitting that he himself was a racist as well. WWE terminated his contract in July of 2015, and WWE also removed him from the Hall of Fame page. And a lot of people just wanted to stay distant from
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. When you heard the news, your initial reactions to that, what were they?
My first reaction is to the news is this can't be, and my other reaction is what was the paparazzi doing outside Hulk Hogan's house? I'm doing that because you know Hulk Hogan was talking to his daughter and like what's supposed to be private. It was not supposed to be public, right? So
Right.
had the paparazzi not been there, um, you know, we would not have known that Hulk Hogan was racist. And I think that's the one bad thing about paparazzi is they will try to destroy you. Try whatever it is, they are going to try to destroy you, and that's what they did to Hulk Hogan. When I heard that he was racist, I was hurt. I was upset. I was mad. But at the same time, I also forgave him at one time. Right? I forgave him once. It was I think a couple years ago where Hulk Hogan um uh did the American beer um and then he had two black women modeling for his beer. He then fired them and said that they were not going to do any beer commercials or beer ads. But then we realized that they were um, Caucasians models. Caucasian women that will be model that will advertise for his beer. So that raised a lot of red flags to our community, the black community as well, and that made it even worse for Hogan. So yeah, I was mad at that point, and I actually did block Hogan after that, and I just unblocked him yesterday. Um, but yeah, it was very heartbreaking because you know seeing that seeing someone that you idolize your entire life, and them being racist, they turn out to be this person that you didn't think of. It kind of hurts. It kind of hurts.
And you said you unblocked him yesterday.
Yeah.
Does that suggest that you've forgiven him?
I did. I forgive him. Because here's the thing, right? I mean, yeah, it was wrong. It's wrong for him to say those things. Uh, but at the same time, he is human. He has a right to feel what he feels. Like if he doesn't like black, that's who he is. I can't be upset with. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to hold that against Hulk Hogan. That's who he is. But the thing is, um, I think Brooke. Shout out to Brooke Hogan. I think Brooke had made Hulk Hogan mad that day. And then that's when Hulk Hogan said what he said. Because if you think about it, Hulk Hogan was working with Mr. T back in the day, right? And he's black. So do you think that Hulk Hogan would be working with Mr. T? Do you think he would be working with The Rock? Do you think he would be working with Booker T? Do you
Right.
think? I mean, do you think he would be in the same building as the human suplex machine Taz? Do you think he would be in the same building as Farouk, Ron Simmons, Devon Dudley? No. I mean, I just say I don't. I think he. I think he was upset that day. Um, and Brooke made him mad. People was treating him like this racist, so he say, okay, you know what? I'm going to show you I can be a racist. Is what Hogan probably did. Um, and that's what he did. I do forgive Hogan though. Yes, I forgive Hogan. And to the people that's hating on me for forgiving Hogan, you're a problem. You're the problem.
Regardless of what Hulk Hogan really truly meant, regardless of what had happened, I mean, the scandal permanently altered Hogan's legacy if you think about it. I mean, he was once a beloved icon, and then he turned into a polarizing figure into the wrestling and pop culture industry. I mean, you think about it, that exactly was the turning point of Hulk Hogan's legacy. His entire legacy was finally stained after he finally was exposed for saying all those hurtful words, the end slurs, and all the other remarks made. And it was very controversial until 2018, by the way. That's whenever he kind of returned. He returned back because he later did apologize. He apologized. Basically, he said, quote, that this wasn't him. He said that it was just a phase of his life, and believing that it was unacceptable, stating that the language that he used definitely was not acceptable, and therefore he honestly was able to apologize for his actions.
Yeah.
When you heard that he apologized for his actions and then he was brought back in the WWE, he finally was brought back. He was once again added into the WWE Hall of Fame, and that the man himself finally was forgiven, at least for the time being, he was forgiven. Did that make you angry when
No,
you saw him return?
no, not at all. Because like I said, I was forgiven. I forgive him that time, and I saw New Day forgiving him. I saw Titus O'Neil forgiving him. Um, all Devon. They all say, yeah, we forgive the person, but we will not forget what he said. That's what they said. They said from now on, we are going to tolerate him being inside the company. You know, they were keeping a close eye on Hulk Hogan because they don't want to be hurt. They don't want to do anything that they would regret. You know, so they were um they were taking small steps with Hulk Hogan, and I think that was the right thing to do. But yeah, I forgave Hogan. I think it was the best thing for us to forgive Hogan, but not forget what he said.
Let's talk about his closing moments of his life because for Hulk Hogan, again, for many people around the world, they saw him, as I stated beforehand, he was a pop icon. He was a cultural phenomenon, this conglomerate, larger than life superstar, not only in the professional wrestling business, but also in Hollywood and just overall, just an iconic figure. However, the last time we saw Hulk Hogan actually appear in a WWE event was in January of 2025, whenever Raw was on Netflix. They were celebrating the first episode on Netflix, and of course, the entire arena booed the man, basically indicated that he wasn't necessarily forgiven too much. Stating that Hulk Hogan apparently was a man that was in a lot of heat, under a lot of fire after his controversial remarks, and a lot of people booed the guy, and a lot of people stated that they just didn't want to see him ever return into the WWE programming ever again. When you heard the entire arena boo him, be honest with me. Mixed feelings? Did you like it? Did you believe it was too far? What did you believe?
Um, I gotta tell you, um, as people here in California can be very, very brutal. I will tell you that we are very brutal, and you know, it was in Inglewood, and you got a lot of black folks in Inglewood, so um, yeah, it was. Um, I will be honest and say, yeah, I think he still deserve it. Reason why it's like I said, he did fire these two black women. After he gave his apology, a few years back, he then created this American beard and hired these two black women, and then he fired them because they were black. So the black people, and of course, our supporters, really showed themselves when they was at Raw, and they booed him right out the building. I found that very satisfying because um, because he did say he apologized, but then here he is, being with Trump, who is a racist, and then he um fired the two black girls for no reason. So, in all honesty, I do think that was deserved. Um, but I wish I can take it back now.
That's where the controversy lies in now, if you think about it. A lot of people are now showing the regrets. A lot of people are also stating on social media, stating that they feel bad over the fact that his final appearance ever in WWE was actually being booed. And, I mean, he was booed to no end. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody in the entire arena booed him. And Hulk Hogan, that was his final time being seen publicly in a mass event ever
And you gotta
before he
remember
passed away.
they were in the Inglewood. They were in Inglewood,
Exactly.
so and you got a lot of blacks and a lot of Hispanics that supports blacks out there, and of course white people that supports blacks. You know, so Inglewood is going to be very vocal about stuff. Like if
And
you,
rightfully so.
yeah, I mean, they're going to be very vocal.
So, um, now obviously, as we all know, he passed away at the age of 71. I mean, he's gone, but his legacy will forever live on, and he's always going to be seen as one of the most polarizing figures in the history of the world. And many people view him as a success, but also a lot of people also, at the same token, state that he, despite the success that he had, he's a he was a loudmouth and he didn't deserve all this. A lot of people out there are still throwing in a lot of shade. A lot of people out there are still throwing in a lot of negative comments towards Hulk Hogan, stating that Hulk Hogan should not be remembered for the accomplishments. He should be remembered for all the negativity, all the hateful language that he threw, and all the very controversial perceptions he had towards the black community. And not only that, but also believing that he was justified in being a racist deep down.
Well, here's my
How do
thing.
you
Oh no, go ahead, go ahead. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Well, that was the question. How do you view that? Do you think they're justified in doing all that?
So, so here's the thing. They are treating him basically like he killed his wife or his son or his daughter. No, I know what these people are thinking. No, he's not Chris Benoit. He's not that person. Okay? Yeah, he just said one word. He just said one hateful word. And I understand. That word cuts. I understand. I am black myself. I understand. Right? But you have to understand. Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan. Terry Bollea said those things. He was not Hulk Hogan in his house. He was Terry Bollea. Sorry, Bollea. He was not Hulk Hogan in his home. So I separate the two. Terry was a bad person. Hulk Hogan was a good person. That's how I see it.
And lastly,
What did you think about that,
there,
Adrian?
I truly think that, I honestly think that Hulk Hogan should be, at least in my opinion, I think he should finally be let to rest in peace.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Hulk Hogan definitely had the controversies. He definitely had the very unorthodox viewpoints. But the bottom line is this: what he said was unacceptable. What he said was absolutely disgusting. It was. But at the same token, he was a human being, and everybody at the end of the day makes mistakes. Whether if there are mistakes that a lot of people can forgive and mistakes that a lot of people don't forgive, it still is mistakes. They still are mistakes at the end of the day. And unfortunately for Hulk Hogan, these mistakes really cost him a lot in his career. But I
Yeah.
think for the sake of family, for the sake of human decency, for the sake of just everyone finally getting some closure, I think we can all just say that Hulk Hogan, deep down, inside, I'm sure, probably hated these views. He himself expressed that he was a racist, and of course, he even apologized. And then
Mhm.
later on down the road, he would still continue with that. However, and this is going to be a little far fetched, but if Hulk Hogan if he were to return one more day on this earth, and he was given 20 minutes just to speak, I think we'd hear a much genuine Hulk Hogan truly stating he's sorry for what he did. And I think Hulk Hogan truly was sorry for what he did. A true racist would have never worked with black men in the past. A true racist would have actually never, ever apologized for what he did. True racists are the ones who go out there and encourage others to continue being racist. For Hulk Hogan, maybe at the heat of the moment, he said things that he maybe regret. He said things that he maybe regretted, but at the end of the day, he really apologized for it. And
Yeah.
as much as I don't agree with Hulk Hogan's views, at the end of the day, you have to respect his legacy, and you have to also state, hey, listen, he's gone. And you have to just let the man rest in peace. And that's where Hulk Hogan's legacy will lie. A pop icon who had controversial figures, who had controversial perceptions, but nonetheless, though, still made a huge success in the professional wrestling industry. And that's just my final question to you. Do you think Hulk Hogan's legacy should be completely stained forever? Or at this time, let him rest in peace and just respect the accomplishments, the work that he's done through the years, and just let the man, as I said, rest in peace?
I think we should just let him rest in peace. I mean, you hit it best right there. You know, let him rest in peace. He done so many great things that we can celebrate his life. You know, celebrate the life that he had. Celebrate the uh, uh, achievements, the great moments that he had on Earth. The movies, the wrestling. You know, those are his most pride, proudest moments. And we should let Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea rest in paradise. He should be able to rest without, you know, yeah, let's let the man rest. He deserves his rest.
With that said, everybody, thanks for joining us here tonight on a very emotional podcast, controversial podcast, but at the end of the day, you and I can agree at the very least, Hulk Hogan was a pop icon, a legacy will forever be, well, for Hulk Hogan's legacy, really, he will forever live on, no matter what it is that he's done in the past. As horrible as it was, Hulk Hogan's legacy truly will forever be immortalized. Thanks for joining us, everybody, here tonight on Eon Network's podcast.
And instead of doing the yeet, I'm just gonna do this for Hulk Hogan. What you gonna do when Hulk Hogan runs wild in heaven, brother?